Hey, Shalom Akim. First, Momos give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachak with us. The honors under the elders, Apostles Green Millstone, the elders Green Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, serving in truth and sincerity. Yes, I'm the brother Chayabla from GMS 20 Tables Camp. Come back with another lesson to his spirit. Yes, this lesson be based off of this article from TSA.gov, which it says digital identity and facial comparison technology. And as we know, of course, they've been introducing this new digital identity system into basically, these airports. Get into the article. It says how it works. You can now use your digital ID at more than 250 airports to identify or to verify your identity at TSA checkpoints through platforms such as Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, and Samsung Wallet or state-issued app. TSA sees the only necessary information to verify your identity, providing a faster, more secure travel experience while reducing the risk of fraudulent documents. However, all passengers must still carry an acceptable, compliant physical ID for verification. Exactly. So, again, we know ultimately this is what they're preparing for. Them, of course, being Esau Edom, being a so-called white man, starring, of course, with the elite international banking families. Obviously, what they want, ultimate control and, full control, which ultimately, again, this digital ID is just preparation to get the minds of the people prepared for what they really want, which is the mark of the beast that scripture is going to. Revelation chapter 13 and 16. Just go ahead and get that real quick. Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great. Well, start verse 15. It had power to give life unto the image of the beast being the EU and the NATO. The image, of course, reading, it says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, so once again, the beast is the EU and the NATO, and the image of the beast, of course, is the system that they're bringing as we speak. Ultimately going back under the ancient Roman Empire, but it's been revived. The beast, of course, has been revived in the form of the EU and the NATO, which, of course, with Babylon, which is America, leading at the top. But what? The image of the beast being the system, which ultimately, the final thing that they want, that they're going into is a NWO. Of course, that's the final thing that they want. And what it says, and cause as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, so first it's going to come to the point where they cast you out of the society. You won't be a part of it. They're going to X you out of the society. Then it's going to come to the point where they literally seek to put you to death. So going back to the article, this is what they want. They want, of course, there to be, again, an NWO where there's full control. Could be on reading Revelation chapter 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads. Causing, meaning he's going to mandate it. Getting that word from mark within the Greek. The Greek word is chrogma. It says a stamp and a printed mark, or the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. By the way, the Antichrist is not just one person, rising up out of nowhere. No, the Antichrist represents anybody who is against the anointed, which, of course, against the Lord. Hamashayach in the Hebrew. Anybody who is against Yahushai is Antichrist. Anti meaning against, Christ meaning anointed. So we know the majority of the world are Antichrist. And again, ultimately starts with Esau Edom. But starting with the elite international banking families, which of course are Edomites. Once again, the so-called white man. It says the mark brand upon horses, thin carved sculpture, graven work, of idolatrous images. Yeah. So again, this is clearly something that's physical. When you look at all these words, it's not something that's abstract. It's not something that's spiritual. No, again, this is a physical thing. It says a scratch or etching, i.e., or says i.e. stamp as a badge of servitude. So again, it's going to be a marking as a badge of servitude. Next verse 17, and that no man might bar himself if he that had a mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So it's going to, again, physical. So when you pull all this together, obviously, it's going into an implant, a chip. It's going to have buying and selling capabilities, and it's going to go into the right hand or into the forehead. We know, of course, you look at the Neuralink, basically it goes into the head. And the RFID implant, many people are taking it already in the right hand. That's the main place where people take it. So again, this is going to be the place where Esau inserts that chip. And ultimately, what's going to allow him to have full control. So again, this all preparation. The digital ID is just preparation for that chip, the MOTB. Yeah, so it says mobile driver's licenses and digital identification participation is optional. If you choose to participate in TSA's use of these technologies, your picture will be taken and compared to your physical or digital ID. Yeah, so of course they're saying it's optional right now. But again, it's going to get to the point where it's not optional. However Esau does it, we just have to see. But we know ultimately that the mark of the beast, once again, you won't be able, or ultimately it's going to get to a point where it's not going to be optional. We just read verse 16 and verse 17, and that you won't be able to buy or sell, and how he's going to cause all, meaning he's going to mandate it. So we know, of course, Esau wants to do away with basically what the physical cards. He wants to make everything digital. He wants to do away with cash. So he's going to ban cash. He's going to ban, these credit card payments, or ultimately, you will require that CIP if you want to take part of the society. But ultimately, the Lord of course, has already reserved the elect not to take it, no matter what, because we know Esau's going to come down like a madman sparing none, understanding that his time is short. And again, forcing everybody to take it, but he won't be able to get the elect. Revelation chapter 3 and 10. You can go into it, but basically it goes into how, of course, those who keep the word of the Lord's patience, the Lord is going to keep them from the hour of temptation, meaning those who endure and serve Yahweh by Shem Yahshai and do his will on to the end. But the Lord's going to, of course, protect them from the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation is when Esau mandates the mark of the beast. So again, this isn't slowing down, man. Once again, you have more than 250 airports allowing you to use a digital ID. You go into even these other stores like Whole Foods, you're allowed to basically, use palm payments or face payments. Definitely palm payments, I know that. But again, showing you where they want to go. All of this, of course, truly isn't necessary, but once again, it's all coming under the form of convenience and security. Oh, it's more secure. You don't have to worry about bringing your physical ID with you. You lose it. It'll be on your phone all the time, and it's faster, more secure, more convenient. Again, that's everything, all the terms that Esau uses, again, to further his agenda, which is ultimately to get everybody prepared to take that MOTB. Speaking about what, of course, it says countdown to America's 250th anniversary. Yeah, 39 days, 16 hours, 20 minutes from now. July 4th. So, and obviously we know that the average lifespan of an empire is 250 years. And of course, we're currently in the American empire. They don't like to call it empire, but yeah, we are in a but the new empire, which is, the American empire. But point is that what this place is nearing its end clearly, and we can see that. Again, the average lifespan of an empire is 250 years. So we're definitely at the point where what this place is about to fall. And we can see it. Matthew chapter 24. Mark chapter 13. We know the times that we are in. That we are at the end clearly. So again, these things aren't slowing down. But hey, we have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because ultimately that's gonna be the stability of our times. Isaiah chapter 33 and 6. Strengthen thy salvation. So hey, once again, of course, that we have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And ultimately we're able to foresee the times to come. Again, ultimately it's all the Spirit of the Lord. Lord sent out, of course, his prophets, starting with the elder apostles of Great Millstone, the elders on down. Again, the prophesy this word, so that again the message goes out, and the warning goes out. So those are your brothers out there edified. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Bashim Kakurash Bakatham. Shalom.